Time is 4:08. I call this meeting to order for the Commission on Culture and the Arts of the City and County of Honolulu. Persons wishing to testify will be given 3 minutes to speak. All presenters wishing to address the commission, please give your name and affiliation. At this time, I'd like to ask all officio representatives to introduce themselves.
No.
Okay. That's it. Yep. So the minutes, do we have approval of the minutes from October 14th and March 9th? They are in your packets. Anything? Okay. The minutes are approved. Correspondence.
Okay, correspondence. So I wanted to let everyone know some sad news that Steve Meckler, commissioner that was on our commission for a number of years, passed away. He passed away on April 9th. He was struggling with cancer, and his wife has reached out to us and wanted to invite all the commissioners to his celebration of life that will be held on Sunday, May 24th, 2026 at 11 a.m. So we'll be sending this out for those folks. And we have a few visitors here today, including Angela. Yeah, Angela's here online for the Kulia'o mural. And so I'm wondering if we can make a motion to add this mural to our agenda. I reviewed this very briefly with the Visual Arts Committee. And everyone should have the mural application in this packet. So they'll later on in the agenda, they will present briefly on the mural.
Move to add this to the list. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Okay. Okay, and then the other announcement that I wanted to make was just an update on the Lester McCoy Pavilion mural restoration. So we are going to be. This project is a really multifaceted project because it involves a number of research skills. Oh yeah, pull up that one. It involves cultural research and then research going through the photo samples and sketches of tracings that we did with back in 2023, and then design, development, and then fabrication, completion, and then documentation of the process and the reports. So we are going to be working with Reckon Shop LLC, led by Gavin Marai, to build a multifaceted artist team to conduct this restoration. And so basically, in here on this slide, I've kind of sketched out kind of the broader stages that we'll be going through for the process of the restoration, and we'll be checking in with you folks on the different phases of the project. So the first phase, we're just going through the procurement process that will be completed by the end of June. And then the research phase will incorporate both the review of historic materials such as the sketches, photos, or renderings, then conduct cultural research with consultation. We have an additional 2 consultants that we'll be working with. Sarah Kuwaiti from Bishop Museum, and then also Kaula Newman for additional cultural research on the makahiki, like appropriate renderings for makahiki, considering the existing, pre-existing mural. So they will develop a team of artists that we, you know, directions for this project that will be reviewed by Coca, and so Coca will have an opportunity to comment on the progress of the mural as it's developing. And then it will go into fabrication, completion. Part of the project is also designing and fabricating a plaque that will document the history of the mural. There's a number of other historical plaques that were created when the mural was restored before. So these will be kind of be sitting side by side with the historical plaques. And then along with the documentation of art and written report. So the project execution that we're going to be writing in the contract is July 31st, 2028, because this will require a number of reviews through SHPE and VDC and a couple extra steps that are a little bit unusual for mural creations. So I just want to provide that.
How much freedom will this team of artists have? Because it's not a strict restoration to a specific date.
Exactly.
So my way of thinking is that it would be more interesting to the artists that are invited to be part of the team if they do have some flexibility and are aware of it. Because it's not a clear restoration project per se, you know, it's kind of in between.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's totally in line with, I think, what we have talked about, and in the visual art committee kind of talked about that a little bit as well. That it will. I mean, I think like some of the conversations that we've had is that we need to make sure that the mural is culturally sound. That, you know, if there is inaccuracies or inappropriate visual renderings in it, that needs to for sure be addressed. So this will be an ongoing conversation that we'll be reporting back, and it will be really interesting to see what these various researchers and consultants have offered in the production. But yeah, we'll go through. I mean, I'm imagining that the design process is going to be in phases. So kind of an initial concept would be presented to us, and then a second phase of a deeper dive of renderings, because even, you know, the rendering of the, you know, Ahu'ula, you know, which Ahu'ula is it referencing? Is it a specific one? Is it a non-specific one? You know, these are all really, you know, we're going to have to dissect and consider all of these different visual decisions that are being made.
I think one detail that I remember that's interesting about this is this was one of the first public.
WP project.
Any other questions, Josh?
Yeah, I guess who, I know that you mentioned the commission would be sort of engaged like throughout the process, but I guess who has the sort of final decision making? Is it, who is it?
That's actually a really good question. It's a good question.
Yeah.
Who do you think it should be?
I guess it's,
I think we're gonna have to collectively decide, you know, because, and then of course the artists that when they develop the artistic team, who's gonna be doing the renderings, and what we talked about in the visual art committee is that there's so many different kinds of renderings that are gonna need to be made, and there isn't a single artist that can do all of those renderings. So I think that's where this is gonna be a really interesting project and super collaborative and unique. So I think this is a really good question, Josh. So I think that.
Yeah, I guess it just like underscores, like the team can't be too big because it's sort of like too many cooks in the kitchen.
Right.
or-
Right,
But, yeah,
yeah,
and then just, I guess, kind of building a case for what students may.
yeah. It's a really, really good question.
Is neighborhood board and city council involved or no?
We'll get city council involved and the neighborhood board. What neighborhood board would be a little bit further down the line. Maybe like the first, once we get into the design phase, that's when we would share with the board.
Which board is it?
Ooh. I'll have to find that out.
This is also a restoration for the most part, right?
Yeah,
Not too many things are changing.
right.
Not really. Well, I mean, it's not classified as a restoration, but that's what we were saying earlier, that because it's a little bit in between, there is going to be a little bit of flexibility. The expectation is not that the existing design is going to be replicated verbatim, but there will be some of the research elements that is incorporated to make sure that the output is what it should be today, as opposed to at the time that the last version was done, which was very long
I
ago.
can actually see the differences in that. That's the original.
Yeah, I don't have the original and then.
The first restoration for.
Yeah. And when the 1970s restoration, there was some pretty significant alterations made, so. And now we don't have access to the 1930s version. So, yes, it's. Any question?
I'm just glad it's being done because I'm hoping that it'll call more attention to the original Coca Pavilion, which is one of my favorite buildings and spaces. Especially the adjacent gardens. So many people have never been there. I think it's really a shame because it's just gorgeous.
It is, yeah.
I think in my lifetime, a third of my life at McCoy's been off limits because they're always fixing something. It is beautiful, but I realize I don't go there.
The first time I went there, where Joseph dropped, I mean, especially the garden, it's so beautiful.
I think it's still closed too, or maybe a portion of it is.
I don't think,
I don't think it.
all the exterior is still closed.
Yeah, I think they're having problems with the trees, the roots.
But I'm hoping that this will be the catalyst for the whole renewal of that space.
Right.
The public will be able to enjoy it again.
Yeah, definitely.
So is Department of Parks and Rec, the primary department for the entire building and the entire project?
Well, DVC is managing the Department of Design and Construction. It's like all the acronyms, I know. They're in charge of the restoration,
Oh.
but then Parks is in charge of the actual facility.
And do they have their own timeline going on building restoration?
They do, but I have not received the most recent timeline, so I'll get that for the next meeting.
We're actually meeting with them on another tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I'm sure it is, but but you're not sure like who
Yeah.
is gonna do it.
Because
It's,
they would have say also. It's on their stomach, just.
Okay, I think it's good to move on.
Any more correspondence?
No, that was it.
So we can move on to reports and, is that?
Yeah. So there are three main things that we wanted to share from an executive report standpoint. First being budget for the next fiscal, the second being a grant that we're awarded, and the third also being somewhat of a grant by way of the Climate Resiliency Fund. So for the FY '27 budget, there are three main things that I wanted to call out because they're over ceiling items. So we have like our standard budget, and these are things that we are proposing to be over the ceiling. The number over the ceiling is not necessarily equal to the numbers you see here because there are some ebbs and flows of one-time occurrences that are in our FY '26 that are no longer there, that are some are the continuing. So the net is different than how it's presented to budget, but this is the allocation that we will be getting provided that budget is approved. So the first bucket is salary. The second one is the public art maintenance, which is actually doubling what we have today because currently we only have enough capacity for Marion to select certain things that are attended to each year. For example, the sculptures are the focus for the current budget. But with this extended capacity, we'll be able to have a broader scope of maintaining the overall health for the entirety of the collection and be a lot more preventative, so that things that could perhaps be more costly if they continue to be unattended, we're gonna get ahead of that. And the third one is the biggest one and one that you folks have all been a part of, and that's the City Culture and Arts Incubator. So we've gone through the first budget reading already, as well as the second. I actually did not have to participate in the second because there were no objections from council after the first reading. And there's a third one that is scoped for June. So typically what happens is that's when a lot of the questions, if there are any, come. But I've been in constant contact with the council members one-on-one. They are fully vetted in all three of these initiatives and what they will entail, individually as well as collectively, and we have not received any resistance to any of them thus far. So it looks promising. The final decision as to whether or not council supports or vetoes the budget items or parts of the budget is June 15th. So specific to MOVA, we're looking good for now. Questions on the budget? As far as the KS Kaiolu grant, we applied for funding specific to Wahipana programming in the summertime, because we know that that's an area of opportunity to capture some of the families who may not have capacity to participate in programming during the regular school year. And also as a mom, I know that it's hard to find activities and things to do in those 2 solid months of June and July. So our focus was on a 5-day program where we would have a tour of various Wahipana sites. And the idea is for that to create exposure to not just the Kiki, but their families, and to provide curriculum that they can take with them and expand it even further. So the grant was awarded in part, and so we'll be supplementing what we need with our operational expenses. We're very grateful for the opportunity to be able to have the support of Kamehameha Schools, and we are partnering with the Department of Parks and Recreation to utilize their platform that they promote their programs, specifically Summer Fund, to get a greater reach and visibility of the final. So that's something we're really looking forward to. Questions on the Kaiolu grant? The last one is a really big win for us. We applied for the Climate Resiliency Funds and was awarded the entirety of what we asked for, which was $350,000. And the premise of this, as far as how culture and art can be utilized as a form of resiliency and sustainability, is through the ahupua'a. So we'll be focusing on the ahupua'a that is part of Pu'uhonua o Waimanalo, and we're partnering with Brandon Maka Ava Ava and the different stakeholders that they already have in helping to elevate even further the capacity that they're serving the communities with. We'll be introducing new ideas by way of what we have set up with Vahipana, and taking really that same format of contemporary art and different modes of art to serve as a vehicle of storytelling and proximity to understanding a deeper level of based storytelling beyond the surface. And so we'll be utilizing the funds in the same, design as doing the research, partnering with historians of place, partnering with artists after we decide what the curriculum will entail. But essentially, we will be having resiliency nodes from Coca to Pula to Kai, starting with the actual beach where the Hawaiian occupation took place prior to the Pu'uhonua being formulated as the Kai location. And so Kaupo is that. It will extend all the way up to the Ohua'a. And so we'll definitely be tapping into the guidance and expertise of Coca when we start to build that out.
Is Kaupo,
No.
It's, where everybody goes surfing, what do they call it? What's it
the
called?
name of the
Yeah, a little more this, yeah, it's really all goes surfing.
So that is a 2-year grant. It's over the span of 2 years.
So that starts in 27?
Yes. And I should have mentioned that the incubator grant is to cover 1 year. And both the incubator and the CRF projects are pilots, because the intention is that we gather the insights, the use cases, the success stories from both of those to be able to replicate that in different districts and different locals as well. We actually had students from MIT here a couple of weeks ago, because they are also they're one of the stakeholders for the Pu'uhonua, and they're climate and resiliency students from MIT that were here on a visiting with us, Director Kealoha Fox and Councilmember Kia Aina. And so 3 of our units will be very close in proximity to helping shape this program looks like. What we'll be doing for both of those, but more specifically, I think in the context of Coca for the incubator, is putting together an initial think tank group, if you will, like a thought process group, to be able to really pull from the community, because this is something that we cannot do alone, and we don't intend to, and we want to be inclusive of the people and organizations who are already immersed in these spaces, to pull from those resources, optimize some of the things that they're already doing in alignment with these initiatives. And so more on that soon, but we want to be able to have a plan in place so that when the funds do become accessible, we're ready to. So that'll happen very soon, because it's the end of April. I can't believe it.
It's nice to see Spotty Park.
Absolutely. And we intend to keep the programming going and the expansion going. There's other things that I'm working on in trying to support the white and I community and having an installation there in partnership with the Department of Transportation Services as well as OER. So more to come on that when we substantiate some of what that looks like.
Anything else? Any questions?
Is there like a planned launch month or for the culture incubator program? Or? So typically, like research starts in July, or development starts in July.
Well, the development we want to start in May, yeah. So that we can build momentum and at least have some sort of executable plan come July, right? And so we want to start formulating those discussions now. Yeah. We don't want to lose time like to wait till July because we have things to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially with the new 2 team members that we have on board, we really feel confident in the capacity to do these 2 big projects ahead. And with the budget for the incubator, there is a headcount that I have in the funds that are being asked for, so that should be either a full-time, part-time contractor. I don't know what that will actually translate to, but there is funding in there for additional resources to support the incubator as the main project. Yes. Because it would stretch us all to be able to try and balance that out. All right, if there are no other questions now, but if you think of some later, we can definitely address this at a different time.
Since we have a guest waiting, if there's no objections, we can skip to new business and then we'll come back to Thomas Square. That's okay with you guys. So in new business, we can go through this in order, I guess. So Middle Street mural submission.
Zach?
Hello, are you able to hear me?
Hi, Zach. Come on.
Hi. Shall I share my screen?
Yes, please.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me in this capacity. Nice to see all of you. Let's bring this guy up.
Yes, we can see it.
Awesome. Oh, that's not what I want.
It's not in
Okay.
full presenter mode yet. There you go.
Yeah. There we go. All right. Thank you guys for having me in this capacity. My name is Zach Angelis. I am the project coordinator and lead artist for this Middle Street Transit Station semi-permanent art installation. I come with the support of Move Wahoo Forward to present this to you today. Super excited to create this art installation and to see what you guys think. So the initial conversation, this is the site that we're looking at. This is at the Middle Street Transit Station. DTS offered this site up because this used to be a living wall. However, they removed all the plants during this over the years as the plants could not maintain themselves. I think they were getting too much water at the site, and so there is this metal structure that's been sitting there at the station for a little bit. This structure is about 8 feet wide and 20 feet tall on each side. And so the concept that I'm going to be presenting today will be creating an installation that basically faces different sides of this metal frame. Some other site photos here. So there are pre-existing holes here that are make it easy for installation as we go into the design, as well as the rail that prevents public access. So there is limited opportunity for people to really touch and feel any of the art that gets put up there. And so this is the Kalihi Gateway. Kalihi sits at the edge, or the crossroads that bridge the communities at the edge. So each side of this semi-permanent installation, we're looking at silhouettes of woodcut and painted artwork. Each side faces a ahupua'a and has symbols that kind of reflect the some of the mo'olelo in that region. So for Moanalua, we're looking at the symbols of the Hawaiian Royal Guard over several decades of generations. The Kalihi, the Lake Kalihi Gateway talks about the abundance of kalo leaves and terrace in honor of the abundance and fertility of Kalihi Valley. The Ka'ihi Gateway is swimming ama striped mulletfish that kind of swim upwards toward the sky. And the Kahawiki there is a mo'olelo of a small hau tree and its impact on the large hau tree. And so breaking down these gateways, the gateway itself is almost like a canoe or a surfboard. So the tip almost points towards the stars. The center holds the mo'olelo inside, or so all of the shapes that are in color will be inside almost like this canoe. And then the waves are towards the bottom of the ocean. one of the objectives is to create a art installation that depicts a culturally accurate mo'olelo of the various ahupua'a, while engaging and interacting with community around. And so further through the process of this, in light of the timeline, we're at these first early stages, and we are here at the April May where I'm presenting to you. Um, but in light of the timeline, we're looking at June, July to begin milling, processing, and gathering funding for this. This installation will be milled out of CNC, so it'll be cut out of marine ply and then painted and then finished before installation. Um, the painting will happen around July, August. One of the engagement plans that we have is working hand in hand with the Institute of Health Services, or the IHS, to work with the village, Kahawiki Village, and their families during the summertime. One of the things that we wanted to perpetuate with Move Wahoo Forward was giving an opportunity for community members, families, and people to come out and help paint and engage and have shared ownership in this entire process. And so members of like DTS were actually really excited because they wanted to also have an opportunity to invite kids on a ride along so that they can experience these things as they create this mural. And this, sits right across of the place that they reside and they live and they see every day. And so there's so much impact that they can have, and then acknowledging that they can have that impact in the space that they live is super important for this project. And then we're looking at a final installation by August, September to install, hang, and put all those guys in place. So again, just to reiterate, the community engagement portion of the Kahawiki Village, we really want to make it an opportunity for them to have this opportunity for something bigger than they believe. A lot of the members of Move Wahoo Forward have also wanted to come and contribute and help develop and plan this kind of weekend or week full of community engagement. And so I think it's going to be a very, very optimal, fun time during the summer to gather community and get them involved with this. So all of the painting and stuff will happen like on site in the Kahawiki Village. And then all of the finishing will happen off, and then the installation will happen on site. Here are some renders for all of you. These renders are depiction of the scale and size of how these would look on the metal structures. These do not depict the textures of the wood or any of that type of stuff, but these are the different angles in which you would kind of see. The design itself is very airy and breathable, so that wind can travel through without shaking the structures too much, as well as providing a replicatable design that can be made at an efficient rate, as well as for easy transportation and installation. But yeah, that is the project that we are proposing to you. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Hi, Zach, this is Vince. Can you remind me how this is funded?
How this is going to, sorry, I didn't catch that last part.
How it's funded? Who's
Oh,
paying
how
for
it's funded. Move Oahu Forward is funding the entirety of the project.
Also, it's not gonna come out of the hard.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe you can share a little bit about the organization, kind of its, I don't know, any other kind of projects it's done, or,
One more time, sorry.
Can you share about Move Oahu Forward, the organization?
Move Oahu Forward. So Move Oahu Forward is a organization that currently they're working on a lot of city development. I know that I sat in their meeting and presented to them this project to them, and they're handling construction of a lot of the rail itself. So a lot of them are providing support and funding for the installation and construction of the rails. I know that they're handling even the underground type of infrastructure that's happening while they break ground, and also um, obtaining and developing the land surrounding the path of of the um, the rail system.
So no, it's not a heart or DTS budgeting project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember that letter we sent because their art budget was missing? Oh, okay. We got
Well, we got a response, but I didn't even bother to respond because it was full of BS. Um,
But this isn't part of the route, right? This is-
Also a whole separate.
She was claiming all this stuff that isn't part of the art budget to be part of the art stations.
But we have him on the line. Are there more questions about this project?
Zach, can you
Yes.
talk me through the choice for the mullet?
Yes. Let me go back to that. So I gathered silhouettes from the mullet fish that I could gather online, as well as talking to members of DTS that provided me information on the native mullet fish. And so what I ended up doing was just taking the aerial view of a mullet fish and placing those and almost kind of like swimming towards the destination up towards the sky. Yeah.
Just because it's top of mind for me, I happened to like just listen to Anti-Muriel News recordings. That, and I don't know, you can like consider it in your drafts that KAU is known for having akule and paki'i, which are flounders. And mahali'i is the shark that inhabits the area. And I thought it would be really cool because it is something that's really fallen off of our history. That Makali'i was a resident of Kahaka'awana, it's not there anymore because it's the reef runway. But he is the guardian of those waters. So I don't know if you want to take a dive. You can find Auntie Muriel's information online. I think it would be a good thing to consider for Ke'ehi, unless you have a specific sort of for the ama or I don't fish, I talk too much, so if like there are ama in there, okay, but I think if you would consider those fish, I think it would
No,
be.
I appreciate that a lot. The information that I can gather on my own is so limited, and so hearing you speak on that is very 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 helpful.
Yeah, maybe can I get
I can forward you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we can, yeah.
Zach, we'll help you get that info.
Thank you so much.
And structure wise, is this to be done in 3/4 inch plywood?
Yes, 3/4 inch marine ply.
So it wouldn't require much in the way of framing, is that the idea?
One more time. So sorry.
Was this so that it would not require a lot of framing?
Oh yes. Yes.
Is there any means being provided to prevent trash from gathering beyond the mural, since it's an open space?
Please repeat that question one more time.
Wait, say it one more time.
Because the space is open, is there any means being provided to discourage the accumulation of trash behind the murals?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes. So currently, there are people that frequently work and gather at that station. Even upon many visits, it's a very well maintained area. There isn't a lot of access to that part as it is. So I don't think that'll be a problem too much. And again, I think the idea also of having a lot of community engagement with this also adds to that benefit of community care and perpetuating that idea of watching out for the community as a whole. So
It's good.
Do we need any?
Yeah.
thank you.
Perfect. Even if when it comes to re-explore the.
Remember that you can mention that in motion.
Anybody want to make a motion?
Well, actually, I had one more question.
Yeah, sure.
You kind of mentioned that in your renderings that I guess, the sort of surface of the plywood material doesn't necessarily translate into what we're
Mhm.
seeing. But I guess, I don't know, like maybe you can share if you sort of thought about the painted texture of, is it meant to stay a sort of solid, one solid color, or will there be kind of depth and sort of nuance on the
Uh,
surface?
I think in the reflection of depth, or I think that'll occur the way that we or they start to paint the surface. I believe that um they will be using brush as an application. But I also be encouraging other methods if they wanted to finger paint as well. So the idea of texture will be different. I have not anticipated other colors. Um, but that was just my original intent to keep these colors the same.
The question,
I have another question.
Nancy?
So is the black, outline, the canoe shape, is that wood as well?
Yes.
Yeah, and so the wood is gonna be attached to the metal framing that's there.
Yes.
That was, a cage structure that was intended for planting.
Yes.
So the 3/4 inch plywood will have a certain weight to it. Have you analyzed that cage is built strong enough to hold the weight of 3/4 inch plywood? And then
Where? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just wondering how you're attaching this to the cage frame and the materials that you're using and just the weights of it, because if it was just like a frame cage that they planted a vine on,
Mhm.
you're expecting it to hold more weight now.
Mhm.
So I just want to make sure that you've thought about that. And if you
Of
can,
course. Of course.
uh,
Yes. No, I
so you
appreciate
look
that.
at it structurally, and the weight of all the 3/4 inch plywood would be able to be bolted to it.
Yes. So I do anticipate having an inspection of this before putting any of that weight on there. We will be attaching it with a nut and bolt system, like through these pre-existing holes. So the holes itself, we won't be drilling into any of the metal at all. We will just be using the holes that already existed. The plants itself that were on there were holding a lot of weight, so the integrity of the structure is very strong. But we will still be going through inspection to make sure that everything's a-okay before we start installation.
Who from the city would have to approve this?
Probably DEC. So the Department of Design and Construction.
Yeah, well, yeah, they'll have to. Is that in the comments? Yeah, if, Zach, if you're able to provide more specifications on, the hardware and installation, that would be good. And forward it to Jenny, and then we'll have BDC review it. And just make sure it's structurally sound.
Thank you.
Is this supposed to be a permanent installation? No.
Someone.
Oh, okay, we haven't defined an actual end date. I might have missed this.
Can you go back to the timeline
Yes.
slide, please? So the installation is slated for August?
Yes. This is the current timeline if we get everything straight away right now during this month, but um that is scheduled to change. We are anticipating or aiming for a August September. Um
So, yeah, Zach, I mean, regardless of if it's temporary or permanent, it's the piece still needs to be structurally sound. So if you could follow up with, more specific drawings of the installation and hardware.
Mhm.
And then also who's installing it, just some more specs on that would be good.
No, I appreciate that. Does the city have someone that can be an inspector for this, or do you have a sector that I
They
can?
they can review it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll have to check and they can't officially sign off on it, but they
No, for sure.
can offer comments
Yeah,
on the.
for sure.
Mhm.
That would be very helpful.
And who are you working with in the city on this project?
So the original idea concept proposal came from John of DTS. And so I've been, he was the initial conversation. And so the initial conversation was with him, Move All Who Forward, and also council member Radiant Cordero was part of like those conversations that we're having in the beginning. And this is all very helpful for me, so that I can make sure I do a very good job on this, and make sure this is all good and correct.
Zach, are you sealing it with anything after you paint it?
Yes, we're gonna be doing an anti-graffiti sealer on top.
Anti-graffiti efforts, so maybe we'll change the color.
One more
Anti-graffiti
time.
will change the, anti-graffiti usually will change the color.
Mm-hmm.
You might not need anti-graffiti, you might just need like a
Maybe a weather.
UV coat or something.
Or UV coat.
Yeah, just UV, yeah, because then anti-graffiti will like yellow it.
Gotcha.
And also you said that you might use a scissor on this. A scissor that might not work on this
You
side.
need more than a scissor.
You need a small one. Which might change your budget.
Of course.
If John can get you the equipment though.
That'd be great.
I think we need to move on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Move on.
We probably need to schedule a date for him to come back with some of the bits that we
Okay.
suggested.
Yeah, since there's significant details that we need, I think we should do a follow-up with you.
Yes, please. Would I be able to get that date now, or should I follow up with an email? Or
Jenny, when you send the information to Jenny, she can correspond and bring in a calendar so we can schedule you for the next one of the upcoming meetings.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Zach.
No, thank you guys. Very helpful. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
Let's move on to the Coolio.
And we do want to do a time check before we transition to the next. So is everyone okay with staying over? Because we had an hour split, but. Okay.
So Angela, if, when we transition, if you don't mind, keeping your presentation to 3 minutes, and then we'll follow up with questions.
Definitely. My presentation is very short. Aloha everyone. I'm Angela Kuripe. I am born and raised in Kulia'o, and I'm on the board for Mauna Lua Fish Pond Heritage Center and also Kupa'aina o Kulia'o. So this project was presented to us by Huli, Jussi Yanover, a friend of ours and also community partner. And they have been doing murals in the Mauna Lua area for a while now. They have a couple on the walls heading towards Mauna Lua. They have some up at Kawaihoa, or known as Point or Portlock. And they had some funding and asked if we wanted to put a mural on the corner of Kulia'o and Kalanianaʻole Highway. And in speaking with my Ohana members, we thought the bathroom at Kulia'o Beach Park would be a better location. So it's a simple mural that they drafted. It's just basically, it's a place name mural, and it's in the colors of blue to reflect the sky. I spoke to some of the neighbors around the park, some of which are Ohana, and asked them if they would be okay with it. they were good with it. Their one request was that it wasn't bright colors. So we went with the blue, thinking it would, would kind of blend in with the sky and the scenery there. So very basic mural, just to kind of bring a little bit of life to Cleo Beach Park. The bathroom has been the same since I was a child. And we thought that just having a little bit of color and the place name would would uplift the park a little bit.
Should I share those pictures or do you want to, Angela?
If you could, I would appreciate it.
Okay.
I did not
No
upload them.
problem. No problem.
Thank you.
I think she sees this here.
Let's see, I can.
Yes, you got questions?
I think this is the draft, correct?
Yes, it's a draft, and it's the bathroom. So if you're in the park, that's the bathroom. When you face Eva, you're facing the bathroom, and that's the main wall. So it's basically just an ocean scene. I specifically requested in speaking with my ohana that we have some Eva birds in there because we often do see the Eva birds flying over the park and out over the bay. And yeah, it's really simple. It's nothing too deep. And we hope you folks think it's appropriate and approve of it. And we will be presenting to the neighborhood board. And we're trying to get on their agenda now. We likely won't do the mural now until either later this year or early next year because the funding had lapsed for the grant. Huli had a $5,000 grant to do this mural, but the funding lapsed because we didn't get this moving in time. But we want to move forward with approval so that when we do get a new grant, we can move forward and get it done when the artist is available.
Angela, have you identified an artist? I didn't know if I heard you say that, sorry.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Did you have an artist already identified?
Yes, it's in our application, which I just closed. His name is Jeff Gress, and he's done murals in the area already. I don't know Jeff personally. He's a friend of Jesse Yonover. Jesse Yonover is as I said, he's a co-founder of Huli. They do education for Keiki in the Mauna Loa area, but Jesse's also an artist himself. He does videography. Jesse has done the music videos for the band The Green and other groups. So Jesse and Jeff are friends. I don't know Jeff personally, but Jeff does have a website with much of his murals throughout Oahu.
So the rendering is not accurate.
This is what it looks like now.
Oh,
That's the reality.
oh, so it's gonna go across the whole wall though, right?
Yeah, it would go all the way across that front wall.
So the Leo
It's too
is the sign gonna
We
be
wanted
an
to ask if we could put the sign like either move it out, on one of these poles or put up another something else to hold the sign so that the sign, of course is visible. We don't want to the sign needs to be there that has the rules of the park, no dogs, no drinking, things like that. So if we could put the sign someplace else so that the mural can go across that whole front wall.
That would be a fair question.
That's a question, yeah.
That's something that we would have to run by the Department of Parks and Recreation.
Okay.
Yeah, I would ask in the email, show him this, resend this image and just ask him what's possible, but I know that they have strict regulations on their signage, and my experience, not really flexible in it, but you can just ask and see what they're able to do. And then with putting it on the post, it has to be, the bottom has to be 7 feet high. So I don't know how that, and then that would still interfere in the viewing plane of the mural. So.
It's
I just
blue,
checked
maybe
that.
in a. I
Yeah,
don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're already
Okay.
in contact with Nate, that would be the person to run that by.
Yes, we are.
Okay, perfect.
I can follow up with them on that.
Yes, the poles are not going to be painted, yeah, it's just, they're just gonna, just the.
It's
Just
just
not-
the wall. We didn't think about the pole, you know, if we wanted to make the poles blue to kind of blend them in, but we just were focusing on the wall.
Would you consider painting the breeze block vents blue also? So they don't stick out like they do in this rendering?
Oh, the vents at the top for the bathroom?
Yes.
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
definitely. To blend it in.
The benches too, yeah, those are benches on the.
Yes, and the benches would be painted. Yes.
Yeah, I would send that specific image to Nate and like, because I think the rendering didn't show all of those details, so it will be important to get that reviewed. by them.
Okay.
And there'll be a solution that they can provide, I'm sure.
Okay, I will follow up with him.
Do we have to make a decision today, or can we defer until Nate responds with those?
Yeah, I mean, we could do that. I could provide, because I know Angela is really busy too, so I could get an update from her
Yeah.
and yeah, to you folks, because this won't happen probably till fall. So there's a little bit of time.
I have a question actually for you. So when we approved this and Parks and Rec approves it, so long-term maintenance on it, that becomes Department of Parks and Rec responsibility, or does Coca take it over?
Yeah, it's not part of Mocha's collection. So,
So just because we approve it, it's still the long-term maintenance would still stay with DVR.
that's right, yeah. But this is why we get it approved by the group, because we brought so many good points up that. So.
Any other things, concerns, questions? Thank you, Angela.
Thank
so
you,
much.
and I'll follow up with Nate and with
Okay.
Marian on those.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Okay.
Aloha.
Well, let's jump back to, if we have time. Projects or no?
Yeah, I mean, we can just go through it briefly, because there's not an enormous amount of things. I don't think too long.
Thomas Square?
Okay, Thomas Square, no updates on Thomas Square from our last meeting, unless anyone has a question.
And that is kind of,
What is on pause?
Thomas Square.
We want to be, I mean, as I mentioned in that last meeting, was it the visual art committee or last Coca meeting? It was last
The
Coca.
Coca.
We want to, think about the future of that place as a sculpture site and, because the rotating art program is basically an unfunded program. I think there's potential for activating those pads in a way that could become more meaningful for the history of the park and to activate it in a different way. So we've had conversations with Councilmember Nishimoto and Shangri-La, and also Homa, and potentially thinking about Thomas Square in a collaborative way, and activating that space. So we're just kind of like planting the seed for that at the moment. Open to suggestions, but we're working towards a conversation the kind of rethinking that space a little bit.
Let's move since we.
Yes,
That sounds.
yes, maybe we can have more on the visual art committee and then share.
Yeah, I was wondering if Admiral Thomas Cottle could be considered a potential partner also.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
First insurance, there's a lot of.
Well, it's got the name, so.
But how about,
Okay, so just a brief update on this. We're working on an extension due to the production, the production delays with tariffs and whatnot. So the new timeline is final design will be in summer, production in fall, and then installation in 2027, early 27. Sure. So Solomon is going to be working with the schools to finalize his design and, you know, the kind of paperliness of his work to present the final design for Coca, and then he'll go into production. Another element of that was that he offered to do a community mural that's connected to the Mexico Gymnasium mural. So we're also working with some of the schools on that and Councilmember Topa's office.
one other detail from the visual art permitting committee is that he's changed from this glass producer in Germany to one continent. It's a slightly different kind of glass, but it will also work around between it, which is a little different. I think it'll be okay. I think that was sort of the consensus.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We can-
For cost too.
Yeah.
Anything else? I don't think there's any banner.
Can I ask a question? Who exactly is on the lamppost committee? I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Mo, who's not here, and I am.
And then we need a third
We
member.
do need a third?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Is that for you? No, okay.
Yeah, I love that house. I would think that's.
That was the candidate.
It's just-
Question on that or?
Yeah.
No, okay, perfect. Yay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Bunny Pana, any news?
Bugifana, we have a t-shirt fundraiser in phase 3, just got totally intercepted by the storms and recovery. So we have a Cornello storm fundraiser that's going, everyone should have gotten an email. So you got, sure, thank you. And then this summer, we're gonna be kind of ramping up the programming. We're gonna be looking at the page for guidance of when we can launch the Hollywood Beach Park once, you know, recoveries and healing is, you know, underway, and it's a good time to stay, so.
I think supervised junior prom, and the road to get to the Coca Ballroom was close, so we had to go all the way through Malahia Temple Garden. I saw the signs. I didn't have time to like,
Oh, okay.
we had to take that long road. all the way.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's off the standard entrance area.
Was there anything else regarding?
Elise lunch and land thing.
Oh, yes, yes.
May 1st.
May 1st,
May 1st.
yes.
Yeah, it's just a complete programming, it's a lunch and learn opportunity, working with some other schools right in the district. Yeah. And then Snorkel Club was May
6th.
May 6th.
Your snorkel club thing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you probably didn't talk about that.
What's happening on May sixth? It's like
So it's a snorkel tour with the Snorkel Club, Ayala and Santia. I went on the last one. It's actually, I just highly recommend it.
It's perfect.
They take you, they take you to different parts of the bay that you haven't been, but it's like an intentional swim. So they kind of guide us in looking and paying attention to the environment and just enjoying, you know. I don't know, it was a really fun experience. It was beautiful to go to different parts of Panama because everyone complains that the coral is so destroyed there, but actually, if you swim further out, it's pristine.
well, yeah. So we're having some summer programming for the Muddy Pond things. One of those things is going to be the bus and utilizing that. We have a meeting with ITSS on Friday, and we'll have a little bit more details on that. But the summer programming, like with the summer fun and stuff.
That too, but I think the exciting part with the bus that Coca was talking about is we're building an exchange program through sister cities because there's a lot of opportunity to grow how we're presenting when our delegations come, when visitors come from afar, and even how we're interacting with our sister city communities that are here on Oahu. And so we're utilizing the different projects within the city, such as Mahipana, such as all of the different installations that align to the rails path, partnering with HMT, with RHB, with Board of Water Supply. And how we're going to utilize the Mahipana element, which would be of interest to you folks, is taking a tour on the Mahipana bus. So partnering with DTS, with John Malucci, and getting availability of the bus to actually be part of the process and taking us to different Mahipana sites. Because we have an installation for the 3 Waikiki works in the Southern Sun that will be turned into a hub. And so it will be kind of like the bus stop, if you will, that these tours will start and end at. And we'll be also doing a lot of that at the Sister Summit that's coming up at the end of May. And we'll be building off of that. I just spoke to John last night and he's committed to at least one event a quarter, if not more. And he actually had a great idea because I was telling him that the funding with Bloomberg is actually coming to a close at the end of June, and he wanted to have an actual panina for the project. And he thought we could take Coca as well as the artists and different partners on the project on one plans for, and we can go through all the installations. And so that's something that it was just hot off our conversation last night, but we'll get more information and get some dates that you folks will be available to make it happen. Yeah. Okay.
I didn't even get to share.
You yet. Yeah. And so yeah, John's been a great partner.
Sorry. Okay, one other thing that I was gonna mention is that we're gonna work, Gail doesn't know this yet, but in our next literature, arts and performing arts and literature, building out some literary responses to the sites. So working with Gail and Liz and Taylor would be great. Our next call. Bring book palm.
Has the literature thing or the commitment of the third step, has that been rescheduled?
No, so we actually had a second date that we were able to get all of the same stakeholders available for. And then the money came up for the second low. And so we made the decision that the focus should be entirely on what we can do to support those recovery and relief efforts. And so on that day, the office actually went to the beach cleanups in Waianae. So there were 2 that we helped to facilitate. Ho'opa'o was in contact with the organizations there. And then again, the fundraiser for the shirts is what we asked our communities to. Coincidentally, the 3 locations for Bay 3 were so many impacted. Wanted to not extend their attention towards something outside of the storm efforts. But we did a lot of socialization and promotion of public health here in house and through our socials, and we just depend on or utilize that as opposed to having. But everyone was very supportive of that decision. All the folks that we
Sounds like
yeah.
Do we need to cover?
Maybe just do a run through both. We covered it.
I think so.
Yeah, we do cover it. So.
Sake of time, if anybody has anything.
it's not on the agenda, but weren't we supposed to have elections?
Yes.
We won't do.
Yeah. Okay. So we should put that on the next agenda. Yeah. Okay, so just on that, elections is, Vince has been so kind to be our chair for 2 years. And then Layton has been voluntold to be our vice chair. Or your work vice chair. And then Paige is the executive committee member. So in the next meeting, we'll run another elections to nominate.
So it's only in June.
So I think that's what we should talk about is the cadence of meetings. What about terms? Yeah. They should be considered. We'll have to look at it. So do you know who's the chair?
I'm sorry.
Do you know who's chair? Chair?
That's part of the first year.
Yeah.
How are we gonna need it?
And what is the cadence of?
Yeah, you know, it'd be great if we could try to, set dates for even like the next 2 or 3 meetings, because then it's solid in our calendars. And, you guys, everyone's busy, we can work around those dates, versus right now how we're choosing dates to work around our current schedules. So I would actually love it if we could nail down a few and then have a, cadence of every 6 weeks or 8 weeks, something like that.
I appreciated seeing everybody either.
Absolutely, myself as well.
Yeah. Just a difference.
It's very helpful.
6 weeks from now would be the week of June 1st.
Does it need to be 6 weeks?
It doesn't need to be. But I think minimum we're supposed to meet like 6 times a year.
Yeah, every 2 months.
Other projects, other timings of approvals that we be mindful of.
Well, even these people who bring it today. They bring the other information about like what are the safety. Pieces.
Yeah, Zach's
It's what
one will
it's
be,
going.
Zach's one is probably more timely than.
But we could probably do that with the email.
I don't think we can approve it through email.
Okay.
So we need to talk to Corey and get to.
But if,
Yeah, that doesn't need a vote. That's just with the visual art committee. Like Zach's needs a vote. Yeah.
so if, initially it was always every other month. So if you give them a month to put together the information and the fine arts committee reviews it, and then it's ready for a vote, then really sometime in June is okay. So it's, to me personally, this 4 o'clock time at the end of the day is great for me. Tuesday or Thursday would be good for me. So if there's any preference of a time or.
I'm just wondering if we should go back to 4:30 because of parking.
Oh, did you pay for parking?
Well, technically, we're not. The free parking in the lot is until 4:30.
Always, but that.
Absolutely.
Still be my plan. Yeah.
What is a calendar? You got a calendar?
So maybe the first or second week of June.
And what is, you know, when
Preferences of
I think, no, I can make it work, but, if it goes to 4:30, that's fine.
okay.
Is 5 o'clock off the table? I mean, it's.
Oh, God, did we already kind of hash that out or?
I mean,
4:30 is great. I'll take 4:30. A little later is good.
It's true.
Yeah. And I went to Vicky too, like.
Although she has class on, so it's.
Yeah, she's she's from the class on Wednesdays. And big show. I didn't talk about Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we had an original survey that we would love to recirculate if everyone can commit to responding this time. And knowing now that, you know, we're under this fresh new space and, you know, calendars probably have shifted since the last time. And so consideration for in-person is always a priority, but there will always be a virtual option available as well. And so maybe we'll send that out again. And if anyone can, you want to set a date, like when you get back from.
You know, I'm on vacation. Starting Monday. Let's just, actually try to, and then we can change it. Because we're just gonna go back into the date. So what works for the first week of June, what works?
You think we're not going to take. Anything except Monday is fine with me.
Okay, Paige.
I cannot do Thursdays.
Okay, so.
We might not
I was like, Mary, I think that we should do it now, because we don't even have activity. Is activity on that one?
But she's on there. Oh, she's
No, but we know she can't do Wednesdays at 5, because she's.
I think we used to Tuesdays before.
Yeah. Tuesdays are her.
Tuesday at
4:30.
4:30.
On the 7th?
Second, we're starting with the second.
Yeah, just get something locked in and
Okay.
then we can change it.
Okay, I probably will send out another survey just to confirm this date. And then maybe also for the next one, for August, probably, and
July
then
and
August.
Oh, August.
Oh, I think June and then August, yeah. So I'll send one already, so we can actually try to set that date. I think that would help everyone, their calendars, right? Okay, let's do that. So right now tentatively June 2nd at 4:30 here and virtual. Yes.
Thanks.
Yes.
General. It'll be June, it will be every other month, so June, August.
June, August, and then October, and then December. Is what I guess we're looking at right now.
Yes.
So, I mean, maybe I'll just send something out for the rest of the year too, because that also helps the public, to know, because there's, you know, all these people with great ideas and stuff, and I've been asked to, like, oh, what's the next one? I'm like, I'm not sure yet, sometime summer, right? So, yeah, it'd be helpful for everyone. Thank you.
Awesome. Oh, and I think, Jasper, you had a book that you wanted to share.
Oh, yeah. It's just, we'll just pass it on. This is for Coca.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. It's just.
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
sweet, we're meeting on that Friday.
Yeah, it's like a part of the Sister City program, you're like, they do a program typically where they support people with disabilities. They work with them and create artwork and turn into merchandise to raise funds for their program, so. Working with the rehab hospital and Goodwill. Rehab hospital, it works with seniors that have conflict, stroke, et cetera, and Goodwill works with people in the spectrum. So we did a bunch of, I taught 2 classes and then we made a bunch of shirts and then it's gonna be out some, at least.
Did you work with Ruben?
Yeah, Ruben, yes. Coca Lumen, yeah. So I made it a little both.
Thank you for sharing. And we're gonna talk about how we can help support the launch event for this, practically here at the holiday.
Yes,
So,
we're making a video, so I'm sure that's.
I have three things, sorry.
No,
Are you okay? Three more things, just kind of like housekeeping. The folders that you have in front of you, I would love to clean those out. So if you want to take the materials, please take it with you today. Otherwise, if you leave it in there, I will trash it. Okay? Yeah. Point number two, I'm also wondering, do you guys like having everything printed every time? Coming from CCSR, I am a little, every time I printed something, I was a little like, oh no, a tree. But if, I'm just wondering, do you guys like this format when it's in person to have the paper? Or are you okay, like looking at it on the big screen? What do you want?
For myself, reference, it helpful for the project specific things to be able to like flip through it, but you know, all of the meetings, the minutes and stuff like that, I mean, I don't know if we have to do that, but it was helpful at times, so yeah, I can't necessarily see everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I just.
Okay.
So maybe if you just do like the proposal things, like the one-off things.
Yeah, I don't need the minutes or the agenda.
So we'll do those.
We're just talking about through the stuff while they're.
Okay, perfect.
Then we have the little one,
Yeah.
and then, yeah, okay.
Maybe I'm supposed to share one page of the text.
For you. Okay, and then one last housekeeping. Apparently previously there used to be like a PowerPoint slide that just kind of went through the agenda. Do we want to bring that back? Or was it okay?
No, the images from the collection.
Oh.
Well, just a highlight of the different things that are on the agenda.
Yeah.
Like,
Basically the agenda for the second
Well, I've
slide.
never seen the images of it. It's work.
Kids call it stick. Something else playing.
Is that a no? Or?
I think it's like.
Okay.
It's like, if it's like undue amount of labor on someone's part, like, don't worry about it, but if it sounds like, or at least Vince, you will appreciate it.
It's nice to know what it is.
But at minimum, like today, if there's a project, if there's a proposal, we definitely want.
Okay, yeah, no, perfect. Just wanted to make sure running things going forward, how everyone, like sit and can see and everything. So thank you so much. Please go ahead.
All right, we should adjourn. It is 5:31.